Next, we have, you were going to tell me about this ocean cleanup stuff.
Oh, yeah. Definitely bring up his website on here.
Theoceancleanup.com.
Yeah. So this guy right here, he was on Joe Rogan's podcast not too long ago. That's one of those filtration systems he's came up with right here. So they're going to be able to see the same time I'm talking about it, right?
Right.
They've been cleaning up a cargo crate a day worth of garbage out of an ocean in Indonesia, or not ocean, river in Indonesia that leads to the ocean, which is adding on to the Pacific. What is it called? It's really hard to explain. It's like they have a really big
P. Sherman 42 Wallaby Sydney.
Yeah, I didn't know. But no, in the Pacific Ocean, there's a really big mass of just garbage that's been built up there.
Is it this right here?
I think so. But it's, I think, almost twice the size of Texas. So this kid
That's big.
Yeah. I mean, in all reality, it takes up a small percentage of the ocean. Because if you think about it, the ocean's 75%. But at the same time, we need, you want to do something about that now before it gets to where it's out of hand, which is this is what he's doing. He's starting on this now, and he's trying to go about making these filtration systems. And he's even getting the molecules of plastic too. There's really small pieces you can barely see because the fish are breathing that in, or whatever you'd call. I guess it'd be breathing for fish when it goes through their gills and everything. It gets stuck in their gills.
Yeah, it'd be breathing because they're absorbing the oxygen from the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's getting stuck in their gills and killing them and everything. It's pretty crazy.
Like plastic beads.
Well, not beads. Okay, whenever you have a plastic bag and it's been in the sun for a long time, it'll start to break apart. It's not decomposing, it's just breaking apart. And it goes off into...
It's just like dry rotting.
Yeah, and it's just coming off in really small particles and then going through the ocean. And because I don't know if you saw, but last year, earlier this year or last year, they opened up a whale that was beached that died and found like 75,000... No, it wasn't 75,000 pounds. It was like 7,500 pounds or something of trash in its stomach. And they're saying that's what killed it.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, so that's why
isn't there like a shortage of whales?
Oh, like they're going to extinct? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
But also, it's so weird. Whales are the biggest mammals on Earth, or the biggest creature in general, I'm pretty sure, on Earth.
I think they're for sure the biggest mammals.
Yeah, because a blue whale can fit an elephant on its tongue, I'm pretty sure. That's how big it is. That's
elephant on its tongue?
Yeah, you look it up.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm pretty sure that's how big a blue whale is, but they're so hard to track too, which is another crazy thing. How is something that big so hard to track?
That's what I was going to say. Like what?
Yeah. Because, if you think about it, whenever they do these videos with blue whales in the ocean, they maybe get one a year.
Whenever I was typing it in, can a blue whale fit an elephant on its tongue? It says, can a blue whale fit an elephant? And then the first suggestion is into a refrigerator.
Into a refrigerator. Okay.
Like who's searching this?
Okay, now that's a little different. I haven't heard that before. But yeah, just looking at this right here, just see how much trash is getting pulled out. That's another thing too.
What if this whole thing was staged? What if they were throwing the trash out there and then cleaning it up and they were like, look how much good we're doing?
That'd be pretty messed up.
That'd be really messed up.
That would be super messed up because he's got a lot of people, funding and backing him up. Kind of like what if they, because I know for a fact, oh my gosh, if Mr. Beast staged like that tree thing, that'd be the most messed up thing in history. Because they made $20 million for the end of this year for the trees.
The length, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The length of an average blue whale, a male blue whale, is 79 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that it could fit an elephant on its tongue, but it's definitely huge. And it weighs 110,000 to 330,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So that's massive.
Yeah. And the fact that it's so hard for people to even be able to look that up, find them.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what really, is a pet peeve of mine with trash in the ocean?
What's that?
Is the people that believe that all trash goes to the ocean. Like the people that there's people that they'll live in Missouri Missouri's pretty much in the middle of the US. So they'll live in the middle of the US and then they'll those plastic things that 6 packs of Coke come in. like they'll cut those up so like the fish don't get tangled in them. And I'm like, do you really think that's going to make us all the way to the ocean? Like, do you think they're like throwing your trash on like a semi and they're driving it all the way to the coast?
Yeah, because you worked for Waste Management and you know how that works.
Yeah, like everything goes to a landfill. Like nothing goes to the ocean. The only thing in the ocean is what gets like directly thrown in there.
Yeah, and that's kind of what aggravates me even more, is because
especially like with this plastic straw thing, like people act like if you use a plastic straw, it just automatically goes to the ocean.
Yeah.
It's like, no, if you were responsible with your plastic straw and put it into a trash can that would then go to a landfill, I mean, yeah, that's still not like the greatest thing ever, but it's not going right to the ocean.
Yeah, it's for the people that are on the beach with it that are too lazy to clean up after themselves. Yeah. That's the big problem. These people are just,
I mean, it's people not taking responsibility. That's how it happens.
Yeah, and it's just a crazy thing. I mean, Trevor Wallace has the best idea with the whole straw thing anyway at the ocean, but that's another topic
with the turtle. That's what I was getting ready to bring up. Wasn't going to bring up Trevor Wallace, but I really think that whole turtle thing with the straw, I really think that's staged.
You think so?
I think so, because I mean, think about it. How does that happen? And have you seen, how many turtle videos have you seen of the straw getting stuck in the turtle? That's not the same turtle.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like the same turtle every time.
Yeah, I think I've seen like maybe 2 separate turtles, and it could have just been the same turtle from a different angle.
Honestly, what needs to happen, like ocean wise, is everything that we're transporting stuff on the ocean. There just needs to be stricter rules for that, because like, you know, sometimes cargo boxes will just get lost in the ocean and they just never do anything about it.
They just let it go.
Yeah, well, I mean, because there's so many shipping containers every year that get lost at sea.
I wonder what's in the shipping containers.
It can be anything.
Like, I bet they don't have like I bet there's not like a shipping container full of like Lamborghinis that end up in the ocean.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? Like I wonder if it's like only like cheap stuff.
Yeah, it's gotta just be because
like there's not going to be a shipping container full of gold that ends up in the ocean.
Oh no! And if it did, they'd find that.
Yeah, it has to be cheap stuff.
Yeah, because it's a mixture of things like that, and then fishing nets. I saw a video the other day with a turtle that had fishing net stuck in its throat.
Yeah,
and
I've heard that like fishing equipment is supposed to be like one of the biggest like problems.
Yeah, because it's meant to catch and trap these animals or creatures, but the big thing is, if it gets lost at sea, it's still going to do its job, but there's not going to be anybody there to pull it up or anything.
Right.
And that's the big problem. So there needs to be more strict rules when it comes to that. And we're starting to lose out on a lot of creatures through just where we have overpopulation and all the feeding and everything we're doing for people. There's a lot of aquatic life that is starting to go extinct because we just keep hunting them to extinction.
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's like a double-edged sword, because like say the specific thing with like fishing nets. Like, yeah, if like a piece of a fishing net is just floating through the ocean, it can cause a problem. But like on the other hand, like what are you supposed to do about it?
Yeah.
Like how are you supposed, like you can't really, there's not really an effective way to get it out.
Unless if you actually see it yourself.
And you can't just not use a net, because then we can't just not have fish. You know, so it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's such a back and forth kind of thing. It really is. I don't know.
Like, what are you going to have like a dedicated person that's like every time something like breaks off, they're like, all right, get in there and find it.
Yeah.
That's their job.
Could you imagine how awful that job would be?
You'd never be able to do it.
I mean, you'd never be able to successfully do it. You could do like maybe once a day, get something.
Like you'd have one guy, he'd be like, all right, see you in 3 years.
Yeah. See you
I'm just going to live down on the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah. It's so crazy. I mean, that's why I like that guy though. He's doing something. It might not be, he's not going to have it done in a year, but he's taking a step in the right direction.
Well, where'd you say this guy was?
This is in Indonesia, I think, because I know that's where he's got one of his cleanups.
Because like what I was going to say, if he's doing this in Indonesia or like in that part of the world, I believe that's like where most of the trash comes from in the ocean. So like,
well, they throw it straight into the rivers.
Yeah.
They have no trash system whatsoever.
That's like completely different. That's probably doing all kinds of good, because, if that's where it's all coming from, because they, like you said, are literally throwing their trash right into the ocean.
Yeah.
Or-
We
or-
make up what, 1%?
I think less than 1% of the trash in the ocean.
Yeah, but we also have a very good system set up for it. That's the problem with places like that. They don't have systems. It's a poor country. They need an actual trash system there, but also how you want to fund it. Somebody's going to have to pay for all of it and not get any profit back. Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
The rich want to keep getting richer, and I don't blame them because they worked hard to get that money. So they're not going to try to just give all of it away for no reason unless they can benefit off of it.
Isn't there some country that burns their trash to make power?
I know that China has had a big thing recently with their people burning trash.
I wanted to say like Sweden or something.
I don't know if Sweden does. I don't know. I mean, we'd have to look that up. I don't think
maybe Switzerland. I think there was something.
I don't know. They're kind of clean areas, well, at least from what I've
what you see on the internet.
Yeah, I mean that could easily be portrayed wrong, but I do remember listening to people that travel over to China talk about how it's a new thing that's happening, but their people are now starting to just like burn tires on the side of the road and things like that. That is not good for the environment.
Sounds like my kind of place. Let's go burn some tires.
Yeah, and that's just like their way of making a light at night instead of using a lamp post.
They use it for light.
I'm pretty sure it's something like
that.
They
probably cook food on it. They're probably just like, hey, you want?
Could you imagine how sick you would get?
You want some rubber fried steak?
You would get so sick. I bet a lot of people don't know you can't cook food on a fire with perforated wood.
With perforated wood?
Yeah.
What do you mean perforated?
Or not perforated wood. When I'm saying perforated, I'm thinking that's like whenever you put holes.
You mean like pressure treated?
Yeah. Treated wood, not perforated wood. Yeah, you can't. Not perforated wood. It cuts up too easy. You gotta really work.
I was going to say, where are you going with this?
But no, like with people that use.
What do you think a steak would taste like that was cooked over a tire?
Imagine what Donald Trump's toupee tastes like. I bet you it's similar to that. It's probably got the same amount of chemicals. About the same texture. And just as much grease. That man eats a steak every day. You know that these guys have a greasy head. Let's just be honest.
Do you think that a steak that was cooked over a burning tire, do you think it would taste like freedom?
No. No, what would taste like freedom is you cooking a steak over an applewood fire while you're also maxing up mashed potatoes with your AR-15 and listening to Wheeler Walker Jr. while shooting up rounds in the air.
So you're stirring with one hand and then you're shooting with the other?
Yeah.
Do you like alternate, stir with this one? Bang, bang, bang.
It depends,
bang, bang, bang.
Hey, it depends if you got to, reload that magazine or not, you know what I'm saying?
No, you got drums.
Oh, you got drums? Oh, no. It just depends on you then. Depends on how you're feeling. If you're feeling like a little right hand, a little left hand.
Two pots at the same time?
Yeah, there you go. You get your colored greens done and mashed potatoes at the same time.
Get the the cannon attachment for an AR? Mm-hmm. Get one of those, just like start shooting it into the pot. That's how you start up.
Oh my. I mean that's America. That is America. As my cousin told me once, Jacob, he said, freedom, that's like driving a Polaris off into the sunset while listening to Toby Keith and shooting ARs at buzzards in there. That's freedom.
Is that a real quote?
Yeah. That's the best part. He said, yeah, my buddy's driving our Polaris off into the distance. And, the sun was set and we saw some buzzards flying around the air. I think he had Toby Keith on or something, him and his two buddies had ARs and they're just shooting buzzards out of the sky to the side of that Polaris. That's freedom. I don't know what's more
and that's a real life quote.
Yeah, a real life quote. Jacob Fields.